Check out the brand new Age of Sigmar character straight out of Warhammer Silver Tower. Spiky bits. Make sure you stay in the trenches by becoming a supporter over on Patreon and also scoring yourself some free miniature swag in the process. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check out our site, spikybits.com, for all the hot hobby tutorials, news, rumors on all your favorite hobby topics. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content, early access videos, and more. Become a veteran of the Long War today. Alright, welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. Rob Baer here again with you today. It's Age of Sigmar time. Now, we kind of knew when Age of Sigmar, or when the Silver Tower came out, and we saw all these guys individually in little clan pack kind of formats inside the box, that they would be coming out at some point individually. Granted, didn't know it was going to be around the holidays, but hey, better late than never, you know what I mean? Also, we have not yet seen the Gaunt Summoner or the Thaumaturge. We haven't seen him come out yet, either of those guys. So maybe they're waiting to drop those when they drop some sort of like Chaos Tzeentch kind of release for Warhammer 40k perhaps. But in the meantime, we got these 6, which if you do it at face value, each of these guys is $25 US. That's basically the cost of the Age of Sigmar, or the Warhammer Quest Silver Tower box set itself. So think about that. Like, this right here is 150, or you can get the whole box for 150 and still get all of the little minions, or the Denzians. I'm from the south, we talk funny, of the Silver Tower, right? And you get the Gaunt Summoner, and you get the Thaumaturge. So I just think it's a good deal if you're trying to like beef up your Age of Sigmar collection. Now we have rules for everything. Maybe that's the way to go. But if you're just like, hey, I just play Durden or Dwarfs, then, you know, maybe you just want to scoop out the Doomseeker. But I can tell you right now, it seems like at face value, I know playing the Silver Tower game itself, the Shard is where it's at. And he is no joke in actual games of Age of Sigmar as well. And being Order, I could see where a lot of people might want him, because he's Billy Badass, like straight up assassin. When it comes down to that. So we're gonna take a look at all of the rules, of course. So first up, let's take a look, shall we, at Mr. Doomseeker, because he seems the funnest. Every time I see a dwarf like running around, little short dwarfy dude like doing stuff, I think of that movie, I Like to Move It. It's super funny. So here you can see basically the sprue itself, which, you know, it is multi-part. I don't know if you could buy this and then do different things with it. Maybe if you wanted that axe or something like that. I think this is more for, you know, actually fielding it as what it is. Like, I don't really see anything different there. As far as his rules go, you can actually go to Games Workshop's website and download the PDFs of all of the rules in the Age of Sigmar. So let's take a look at the Doomseeker right here. So first up, the Doomseeker is off the bat 100 points. Now you can check the Age of Sigmar app to get the actual point values for these guys. They've already been updated, so that's even cooler to see. So they're all in there, along with the Lord Veritant, which was a special character that came out for Age of Sigmar. I guess there isn't special characters in Age of Sigmar, so we'll just say character. They came out 2 weeks ago, I believe. So here's this guy here. He does have a missile weapon, 8-inch range, one attack, 3 up to hit, 4 up to wound, 1 damage, pretty standard. And then melee weapons, he has the War Iron, which is 3 attacks, 3s to hit, 4s to wound, and his axe is 3s to hit, 4s to wound with 3 attacks as well, -1 rend, and 1 damage. But here's the thing, if he slays any models, he adds 1 to the damage of his War Iron until the end of the following turn, which is pretty decent. And then the Goaded to Fury, you can add 1 to all hit rolls made for the Doomseeker if he has suffered any wounds. So obviously he wants to die in battle, that's his whole thing. So if he takes a wound, and he has a pretty decent save there at a 4 up, so I feel like he's going to be swinging on 2 ups to hit, which is pretty dope. And then of course, you got the Oathbound special rule right here. Pick an enemy unit that the Doomseeker has sworn to destroy. If that unit is within 3 inches, he has made his attacks in the combat phase. He can pile in and attack for a second time. So he basically gets double attacks against whatever he has Oathbound to kill. Now, I want to save, next up, I have the sheet here for the Shard. I want to save him because I feel like he's probably the best out of all of these. Let's take a look at the Excelsior War Priest, shall we? So this guy's pretty cool in game. He's obviously the healer. Let's zoom in a little bit on this guys. And I just love the pose on this guy. He's like, Excelsior! And, you know, for the points, he's pretty cool because he's kind of like a two-pack. Like, you get the little Gryph-hound. It doesn't work quite the same as the, what is it, Lord Veritan's Gryph-hound, but he's still pretty cool nonetheless. And this is a guy, you know, he's kind of the iconic, like, priest that we've seen in all the, like, the Warhammer Quest and Warhammer Fantasy kind of lines there. Now, you can see his instructions, how to basically put them together. Now, this guy is a little bit more multi-part. You could switch out the capes, you could switch out the books, a couple of things there. The Hound, it's just kind of the Hound, it's just kind of in there. Just to kind of make it work, and then you see the two different size bases. So very cool. The model obviously is very well designed. You can see like in the cape here, you know, there's all sorts of little writing and things. The book, the hammer's got all sorts of scrolls and comments and Sigmar-ish kind of Sigmar kind of stuff. As far as his rules go, very similar to how he works in the Silver Tower game itself. So he can heal something once per hero phase. If it's a friendly unit, it heals 1 wound. If the War Priest and friendly unit heal D3, if you pick an enemy unit, it suffers 1 mortal wound. If it's a Chaos unit, it heals D3. So bonuses for being order, definitely bonuses for hitting against Chaos. So, you know, if you're trying to be offensive, he's got that capability as well. Divine Power, he can unbind 1 spell because he counts as if he were a wizard, and then the Loyal Companion, the little Gryph-hound, can bounce around and get some attacks. We'll check out his profile in a sec. So overall, he's got 4 attacks, 4's a hit, 4's a wound. He's an average. He's like a paladin. He's not going to go out there and hit on 3s and do stuff, but he's got a decent save, and he's got a little bit of ass right there. So he's not too bad, I feel like. And then the Gryph-hound, of course, 1-inch range, 2 attacks, 3's to hit, 4's to wound, 1 rend. He can, what is this? Any unit within that many inches of the Gryph-hound is alerted to the enemy's presence and can attack it with one of those weapons as was your shooting phase. So if basically you teleport in on a squad, you can roll 2 dice. And if they land within that. So, you know, if there's the average is 7, of course, it could happen, it might not. Darting attacks, the Gryph-hound can, after this unit attacks in the combat phase, roll dice and move each model in that unit up to that many inches. So it's pretty cool. I was thinking you could have more of these, but no, you can't. For some reason, I thought you could have a little squad of Gryph-hounds. Maybe that was in Silver Tower. And then, of course, if the Gryph-hound makes 4 attacks with his beast and claws rather than 2, if the target is within 3 inches of the Lord Celestin. So if he's kind of like a little bodyguard and he makes double attacks, so you kind of want to keep him within anything with the keyword Lord is Celestin. Now, I don't know why that is in there. I feel like, you know, it's kind of a holdover from the War Priest, you know, because it should technically be War Priest. I'm not sure if they just accidentally used the same War Scroll there. I would say, because the way he works in Silver Tower, that he, you know, he benefits the Excelsior Priest. So I would think that was just a typo, but, you know, obviously check with GW. If I was playing again, it was just like, yeah, just do the War Priest. Obviously, they made a mistake there. I feel like they just fat-fingered that one. And also, you're going to see here that one of these War Scrolls is only available in French. Fortunately, I can speak French, so we can figure out what it says. All right, so then the next up, we got the Mistweaver Sia. Don't know how to say that, but we'll go with it. So this is basically like a caster. Kind of cool. Not exactly. I mean, it can be devastating in game. If you give the enemy the opportunity to target this model, they are going to wreck her, I feel like, because she's pretty easy to kill. Oh, and the Excelsior War Priest is 80 points in Age of Sigmar games per the app there. So here you can see how it goes together. The only thing that's really multi-part that you could switch out is perhaps the arm or the head right there, which it really isn't that big deal. But again, very cool styling. I mean, it's all done on computers now. It's all spliced together. You know, the rest of the assembly makes really no rhyme or reason, perhaps, but it's still pretty cool to look at, and it's definitely a cool model in a very neat little pose here on a 32 mil base, which seems to be the case for a lot of these Age of Sigmar things. Now, as far as rules go, not too bad. I mean, movement-wise, average. Wounds, average. Save is 6 up. That's a bit of a problem. Bravery 8, not too big of a deal there. The Elven Blade is 1-inch range, 3 attacks, 4's the hit, 4's the wound. 2-inch range with the staff, 1 attack, 4's the hit, 3's the wound, -1 rend, D3 damage. She's not a baller in combat, but what she does is can cast a spell. Obviously, she's a wizard. Can also dispel and can unbind and cast spells. You know, of course, the normal stuff, Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield. And then here, basically, you can cast this Illusionary Assault. It has a casting value of 6. You pick an enemy unit, you roll 3 dice. If it's greater than the unit's bravery, the unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. If it's at least double, it suffers D6 mortal wounds. Now, I haven't seen a lot of braveries below 5. So on average, I would say it's probably like 6 is probably average. So if you're rolling 3 dice, getting a 12 is probably above average. So that's not going to happen quite as much. Now, however, she does have this ability where if she says once per game, she's going to use her staff to shroud herself. So she gets +1 save against that attack, but it only brings her down to a 5. And with 5 wounds, I feel like if the enemy really wants to take her out, it can get done. So there is that. I feel like she is 80 points in Age of Sigmar there. And now we're about halfway through this review. We've got 3 models left. All right, so next up is interesting fella here. He is actually chaotic of faction type. This is the Darkoth Chieftain, basically Conan. Pretty dope looking model here. I mean, definitely a fan favorite. You see a lot of these painted up. I mean, he's just so iconic. He's like that twist between Conan, you know, inspired obviously by Frazetta. Just a very cool looking model in and of itself. Not very multi-part. You can see here with the slices. It's just, you got an axe, you got a sword. You're not going to buy it for conversion bits, but you can definitely buy it for all sorts of different other reasons. You know, playing just Chaos, playing on Silver Tower, just paint him up for D&D, whatever. He's dope. He's a dope looking model. Super easy to put together. Again, $25, brand new. Now this guy actually, for some reason, his War Scroll prints out in French, which I don't know why, but that's just how it comes up on Games Workshop site. No matter what language I select, which is pretty interesting there. Fortunately, like I said, I speak French, so I think we can muddle through this one. Mostly. So he is 80 points. Obviously, you can tell by his weapons here. He's got a war axe, 1 attack, 4's a hit, 3's a wound, 1 damage. Broadsword, 1 inch, 3's a hit, 3 attacks, 3's a hit, 3's a wound, -1 rend, 1 damage. That's pretty good. I mean, I'd like to see -2, but I feel like that's a baller ass dedicated assault unit. So this guy's good. He's got some damage output, 5 wounds, 8 bravery, just pretty much everything we've seen here. But 5 up save concerns me right there. Like I said, he is chaos. He is mortal. Now, he's got this interesting ability here called Berserk Charge. He can make 6 attacks with his broadsword instead of the 3 if he charged earlier in the turn. Yep. And he's got this other ability called, I don't think that's translated right, but I think it means Death Blow. If he slays any model in the combat phase, each enemy unit within 1 inch suffers a mortal wound. I think that's what that says. I think that's I can't imagine what that would. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's mortal wound. So that's pretty good. So he can 6 attacks on the charge, 3's a hit, 3's a wound, -1 rend, and then that pops off. Huh. All right. Well, that's good. I like that. Quest for Glory. Keep track of the number of wounds inflicted. If the total reaches 8 or more, 8 or more, yeah, you can add 1 to all hit rolls made for this model for the battle. If the total is 16 or more. Huh, that's interesting. That was easy. 16 or more, you add +1 to your wounds? I think that's wounds, to wound rolls. Okay, so all right, so that's cool. So if you do 8, you get +1 to hit, and if you do 16, you get +1 to wound, which, I mean, already now you're hitting on 2s and wounding on 2s, and he does this. Like, this guy's a freaking blender. I love him. That he is 80 points. I think he's definitely worth taking in most chaos. I mean, if you're strict on heroes, I feel like the sorcerers, like the sorcerer lords, like #1 always take him in chaos. But then you could throw in a lord. But man, I don't know. Like this guy's pretty good too. Like if you got an extra hero slot in there, you might want to definitely look at taking him. He is no joke. All right, Knight-Questor. Yet another Stormcast. Yay! It's Radiant Stormcast. Obviously, this guy. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. There's how many Stormcast heroes we got now? I mean, he's great looking. He's got the sword. He's got the dope ass like shield. You could definitely use this guy to snaz him up with, or use him in regular games of Age of Sigmar without being the, Knight-Questor guy. You can say something else like a Veritan or I don't know, whatever. Super easy. I mean, most people haven't even seen this model outside of Age of Sigmar, right? So overall, great style, very well. The cape's all done up, crazy Liberator sickle there on the shield symbol. Very cool stuff. And let's see how he stacks up in combat here. So 3-up save, I'm liking that. 5 wounds, 5-inch move, 8 bravery. All right, cool. 1-inch range, 4 attacks, 3 to hit, 3 to wound, -1 rend, 1 damage. All right, that's pretty average, just like Mr. Darkoth guy, Darkoth, Chieftain mans. So let's see. Carries a shield. Sigmarite shield's always good. Reroll failed save rolls. So 3-up with reroll. He's got some stand power. Thunderstrike charge. Add 1 to damage inflicted. If the wound for this attack was 6 or more. All right, that's cool. But he only has 4 attacks, so 2 wounds. You figure he hits with 2. I would say he hits with 3 of them. Then to wound, so you have a chance. I'd say every 2 rounds of combat you'll get that off. If a Knight-Questor is within 6 of an enemy hero when chosen to fight in a combat phase, you can pile in 6 inches instead of 3, but must end its pile in within 1 inch of that hero. You can reroll all failed hit rolls for Knight-Questor if the target is a hero. So that definitely goes up considerably at that point. So I feel like that's a pretty good ability as well. Now, my #1 pick for the class of Warhammer Quest Age of Sigmar Silver Tower crossover characters is definitely the Tenebrael Shard. This guy is straight up death. He's a straight up blender. Again, a fantastically crafted miniature, not going to be purchased for conversion bits because he's basically a bunch of shapes. Like, what do you do with that? I don't know. You put it together and you make it the model, I guess, right? So, very cool looking, very neat pose. But as far as rules go, this guy's a blender. As long as you roll a 4-up in the hero phase, he's pretty dope. So he's got a 5-up save, so he can get beat down, but 5 wounds, 8-inch move, 8-inch bravery, so he's moving quick. He's got a 1-inch range attack, 6 attacks, 4s to hit, 4s to wound, 1 damage average, but 2-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, -1 damage, D3, or -1 rend, D3. So that's a noticeable tick up in the powerhouse department there. Now, he is a single model. He, at the start of a turn, a hero phase, you can roll a dice on a 4 or more. You basically can teleport him and then set him within 3 inches of an enemy, so he's going to count as being in combat. If you do, you add +1 to all hits made for this model for the rest of the turn. And remember, he gets all these attacks, and he's hitting on 3s with this, and hitting on 2s with this. Woo! Graceful Killer. When you make save rolls for the Shard, ignore the attack's rend characteristics. Suddenly, this 5-up isn't looking so bad. You know what I mean? Incredible speed. If he slays any models in a combat phase, he made an 8-inch move immediately after his attack has been resolved. He cannot finish the move within 3 inches of any model. So he's basically got a hit and run, a built-in ability as long as he kills something. I love this guy. I played with him in Warhammer Quest, Silver Tower. Amazing. I love this guy. As long as you have a good team and some healers and stuff, he's not a Billy Badass. He's not the Chieftain that can just run out there. He's not the Knight-Questor that can just run out there and take that kind of abuse. You have to be calculating. You have to be crafty and tricksy with this guy. But at the end of the day, definitely what's up. I'm loving this guy. So that's pretty much it for this one here. I mean, lots of cool new miniatures. Oh, and one other thing too. There is data sheets or war scrolls for all of the other stuff in here in the actual box game. So if you do get the game and you do pick it up, there's all sorts of guys in here that you can use, and they all have abilities and keywords and all sorts of things. I'm not going to go over all of that, but you can definitely check it out on GW's site. So that pretty much is it, except for that last little addition there. This is the brand new Age of Sigmar characters straight out of Silver Tower.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.